Welcome to the Bay Area Business Podcast with Joseph Blackman. Twice a week, we highlight the people behind the businesses in the San Francisco Bay Area. Take your next step to success while being inspired by the journeys of others. Be great, be unforgettable, and be you. Put a big smile on your face as we begin the show in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Bay Area Business Podcast. I am here with Mark Hinds. He is the owner of Hinds Insurance Services. Mark, tell us where you're from. Tell us how long you've been in business, and tell us how you add value to the Contra Costa County.
Wow, all at once. Okay. Well, we're from the area. I graduated from Ignatia Valley High School in 1968.
Nice.
So we've been around a long time. Hinds started in 1992, but our insurance background goes back to 1983.
Okay.
It's a partnership with my wife, Mary, who I met through the insurance business.
No, nice.
And I forgot the third part of the question.
How you add value.
Oh, well.
What do you do that's great? Because we all know you're great.
Well, thank you for that. We found the best way to do business is to do it face-to-face. So even though we're active on the internet and through the social media stuff, I personally meet with every single client that we have.
Nice.
I want to look at all their locations. I want to see exactly what they're doing. I want to just sit down with them to see if overall it's a good fit. We write a wide variety of businesses, but we don't write every business that asks for coverage from us.
Let's go more into that. So you say if a company or a business contacts you and they want insurance, you go out and meet with them. What would you see that you don't like that would not make you want to write them?
Well, there's different things, and it depends on the business. If it's a service-oriented business like a gas station or garage, for example, one of the main things we're looking at is housekeeping. Oh. You know, do they take pride in their own business? You know, I like to walk in, see an owner, and say, hey, show me around. And if they take obvious pride in what they're doing, that's a big plus. Yeah. The process of talking to somebody gives us a good idea about what kind of a business person they are. Yeah. Are they interested in building a business for themselves that's a benefit to their customers, or are they just, some businesses are just in it to, gouge out as much money as they possibly can while skimping on things that are important. So, and we won't let our clients skimp on their insurance. We have minimum limits we'll recommend, and we work with everybody to find something that fits. We want the best possible coverage for them at the lowest possible price, but there are certain standards that need to be met, or nobody's happy. Is
the insurance industry? Are you in close contact with your competition? Meaning that, do you talk about industry news locally?
Well, when it comes to competition, we're looking forward. It's like Satchel Paige said, "Don't look back. Somebody might be gaining on you." But we're aware of trends in the industry. We're aware of what's going on. We know who we compete against and who we don't. We're not, like I say, we're not trying to be the biggest agency in the whole world. We have a select number of clients, and so for us that trust factor is more important than what's going on. Clients that are constantly shopping their insurance around, these are often $5,000-$10,000 accounts and up. Up to we have accounts that range upwards of $500,000.
Wow, nice.
And at some point you have to have some trust both ways, that you're both looking out for each other. We don't feel there is any one particular competitor we can point to. It's more of a general industry trends and things.
Okay, that makes sense. So tell me about the start. Tell me how it was. Was it an ugly start, or did you buy into it? Did you start it from your garage? How did that work?
Well, the Hinds Insurance Services as an agency was born of necessity, I guess, so to speak. We were working through, at that time, we specialized in service stations and garages, almost exclusively at that time. Now it still represents probably 20% of what we do, but at the time that was almost all of it. And we were working through the California Service Station Association, and they had contracted with a series of brokers to handle insurance for their members.
Yeah.
And at one point, those brokers didn't have a program.
Oh.
Originally, back in the 80s, when I first came on board, there was a singular broker working through CNA, and they hired me, and I trained other people to work with that insurance program, and we took it from $3 million up to $18 million in about 3 years, which is colossal growth for a niche market like that. And then one thing led to another, and there were falling outs with the broker, and this led to something else, and new brokers, and more than one new broker. And then at one point, they actually didn't have a program.
Wow.
And so out of necessity, we went out and formed our own agency just so the clients that we had would have a place to go.
Still go on, yeah.
Well, and that was part of it. The other part was I was tired, and Mary was also, we were tired of being in the middle of dealing, it's tough. You've got the client, and the client has certain complaints that weren't your fault, but you're the face that they see.
You're the rep, yeah.
And so I got tired of, not being the one who could say, I'm responsible and I can fix this.
Yeah.
We like to be the ones that can fix stuff. And so that was another reason to open the agency, which we did in 1992. We've never looked back.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad you're still here.
And we'll be here a while longer. So.
That's my next question. What is your plan for growth in the next year?
Well, we're developing with our other offices. We have a separate office in Novato.
Okay.
We have...
Wow, that's nice.
It is nice, isn't it? Weather's better. But we have a branch office there, and then we have somebody working out of their home, actually in Rockland, but that'll become a separate satellite office as we go along. We're licensed...
All under Hindsight.
All under Hindsight. We're licensed in Nevada now. Okay. That's because a lot of our California clients either have operations in Nevada or are planning on moving out of state.
Because of their own tax.
That's a whole different subject. We can talk about it if you want. But we wanted to expand stuff. We have a lot of business up at Lake Tahoe, for example, which is kind of fun.
That's an easy business trip, huh?
Well, it's a pleasant one, so... But so part of our growth is restructuring of how our employees handle things. I'm empowering them more to take care of day-to-day operations with the clients and things, while I spend more time actually out in the field talking with people, which is what I had done originally to build the business as well. Yeah. And a lot of training that goes on for that, a lot of continuing education on their part.
Okay. So speaking on continuing education, this question is more about you as Mark Hinds. What do you do to gain knowledge?
I think that's part of the business that clients in particular don't really understand. They think we show up once a year and ask for colossally huge amounts of money from them, for which they get a piece of paper, and we both hope, we don't have any claims during the year. It's a ridiculous kind of a product. But well, in that sense, it is. I mean, if I came to your business and I ordered T-shirts for my Martinez Campbell Theater, for example, and at whatever your delivery thing was, I would get a bunch of T-shirts. I mean, that's tangible exchange for my money, whereas, a 100-page insurance policy seems expensive when that policy could typically cost anywhere from, $500 to $500,000. So, but the part they don't see is how much time we have to spend. First of all, developing the markets themselves. I spend a lot of time just talking to different insurance companies and their representatives and trying to pick and choose the ones that I think will be of a real value to our clients. And that's a lot of time and research. And then beyond that is just the ongoing education that it takes to be in this business. The rules are constantly changing. Coverage is constantly changing. A new kind of coverage that's a very big deal now is data breach. You hear about this all the time.
Data breach.
Target and their stolen credit cards is a really good example. They just got hacked.
Yeah.
Before them, it was Lucky's. These companies, Wells Fargo, it happens all the time, and you don't have to be a big company. You can be. We had a client whose laptop was stolen, and his employees' information was in there, Social Security things. That's a data breach.
Yeah. So
that's a new kind of coverage that when I started in this business didn't exist because, well, for one thing, there was no internet then. Yeah. But so there's new kinds of coverage like this is coming in all the time.
You have to figure out what it is and how to price it and how to protect it.
We do. What's important too is to realize that it's kind of like being a medical doctor. You can't do everything well.
Yeah.
So you have to realize what are we going to do well and what do we need to affiliate with other people.
Outsource.
Well, yes. For example, we have a person, Judy Moyer, who we've worked with all of this time, but she's gone off and specialized in medical care and employee benefits, and now that's pretty much all she does. And so we refer all of our business to that now, rather than me trying to handle it. I mean, there are clients, but we refer all of that over to her, and the clients are very happy about that because they get a true expert in that field, and it takes 40 hours a week just to stay up with the latest rules on that. And we have continuing education of our own. Every licensed agent has to go through a certain amount of ongoing education. So realistically, 3/4 of my time is spent either in continuing education, developing new markets, working with new companies, or working with the companies we have about the nuances of what they do and how they do it, all for the protection of our own clients.
Yeah.
But like I say, they see me briefly, it seems like, and away we go.
All right, so it's kind of off on a tangent. You spoke about the Campbell Theater. You have a big hand in that. Go ahead and tell us more about what it is and what your role is.
Well, that's a large part of commercial insurance is what I like to call my day job. Everybody has to have something that they're passionate about.
There you go.
And we care about our clients. We're passionate about the business, but this is what's putting food on the table for our families. My particular passion has always been community theater, and that and Rotary.
Yeah. So you're part of Rotary?
Yes, I'm a past president of the Rotary Club of Pleasant Hill.
Okay.
I noticed, and I'm currently secretary for our own foundation there.
Okay.
And so we're very involved with that, both locally and internationally, and we give a tremendous amount back to that. But we also had an opportunity to develop the Martinez Campbell Theater, which had previously been operated by the Willows Theater Company.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people know that name. They went out of business, and we were able to take over that theater.
So did you move the Willows in Concord to Pleasant Hill? Or
the Willows is gone. As an entity, they don't exist anymore. And so their theater had been abandoned. The city of Martinez is the subleases that from the owners.
Okay.
And so I went to, along with other people from the Onstage Theater, which is a nonprofit organization, we went over to the city and we contracted with them to run the theater under terms that made it possible to do so. And so we're running a nonprofit over there for the benefit of the local community, local theater, and all sorts of things. Improv. It's just another way to keep busy and stay involved with the community.
Yeah. How many people does it sit?
It's at the moment it depends. The Willows claim they crammed 190 people in there for the show Evil Dead. I don't know how they did that. Currently seats about 120.
Okay.
If the city will renew the lease with us, which we hope will happen this summer, we're going to revamp that and turn it into a 99-seat house. We have very comfortable theater seats available to do that with. 99 is an important number because it comes in, would allow us to use equity actors without having to subscribe to the equity union,
You have to pay into that.
Yeah, it can be very expensive.
That's at 100, huh?
Yeah, anything over 99, you can't, you have to make really difficult, relatively special arrangements if you wanted to use an equity actor, whereas this is all volunteers. Nobody gets paid in this. Little janitorial expenses, but myself and the dozens of people involved with this, strictly volunteers. And it's just what we do because it's something we love to do.
Nice. Do you get a lot of local school plays that want to use it? Or
we're starting to. Like I say, we just contracted with the city here in late this past year, so this is coming up on May, so this will be our 5th month of operation. And it's starting to build. People are excited about it. We hope it'll become a big source of benefit to the community out there.
It will. Everybody needs a theater. I mean, movies are nice, but that live, it's all another feel to that. Yeah,
live. The improv groups are a lot of fun. Yeah. We're planning...
you do some improv? You get up there?
I don't do improv. I can do that on my own, but in a group it's harder. I am a performer. I act, and I direct some shows.
Nice.
But mostly my job at the moment is to be the impresario down there, the guy who develops the things that we're going to do. And we're working with some excellent companies. Butterfield 8 voted one of the 10 best theater companies you never heard of in the Bay Area by the San Jose Mercury News. Will be performing there.
Wow.
On Stage Theater, they're the anchor tenant there, but we've got all kinds of people coming in. We're planning some music stuff. Dragon Viper Cobra, which was there last Saturday. They're an improv group. Brought a bunch of folks out with them. So, we got all kinds of things going on.
Nice. Good stuff. Well, you're part of Rotary. You have the theater as well. What else do you do to give back to the community?
Well, there's a lot of small things that we do, but the biggest part of it, aside from the theater, really is the work that we do through Rotary. And of course, you know how that goes. But some of the things we've done there is we're actively involved with the rebuilding of the senior center and the stuff down in Pleasant Hill. We're putting money into a fire suppression system for the Contra Costa Historical Buildings Society group, which is down as a building in Martinez that needs fire suppression system. We're involved with a lot of the different groups that feed the hungry here in the county. Some of those are amazing groups. There's amazing volunteer groups around here, and of course through Rotary we're able to service a lot of them. One of my favorite projects, and we were in on the ground floor of that, I specifically as well, but mostly our club. There's a program, you should write this down, it's called the LN4. Yeah, so that's LN.
That's Jim Yoder.
Jim Yoder's very involved with that, but as is Michael Mendonsa. And Michael, the story with the LN4, which is, go to ln4.org to check it out, is Michael called me up one day, and he was at that time working for a plastics company down in the peninsula that we insure. And he'd had this fellow named Ernie Meadows come in to talk about building these parts for this prosthetic hand that he had invented. Now, prosthetic hands in the United States can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000 for somebody to have and use. And this was a mechanical development that for $50 it creates a usable hand for people who, don't have one. And you can write with it. You can use a toothbrush. You can use tools. You know how those go. And Michael called me up and says, you got to come see this. So I went down there and I saw it. He said, do you think we could get Rotary interested in this? And so I went back to my board and I said, we have to do this. We have to throw the seed money into this. And we did some initial preliminary work with a trip to Vietnam, discovered issues that got resolved with the next incarnation of the hand itself. But something that started on the peninsula as an idea from this one inventor, and I think they're up to 16,000 hands that they've installed around the world now.
Wow.
I mean, you're involved with that. The DV8s, clubs are all involved with that. It's become a big international deal, and that's the beauty of it. The best days for me are the ones where you can go home at night and knowing that you did something good for somebody else somewhere. And these are people I'll never meet,
but it doesn't matter.
But that, and then of course we've just finished up projects building wells and schools in Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
So and that, in conjunction with the local stuff, keeps us pretty involved, pretty busy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Busy's good. So, I need you to recommend one personal development book and one business book for our listeners.
Well, we're pretty old school on that.
All right, that's good.
So, and they kind of overlap.
Okay.
The How to Win Friends and Influence People is a book by Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
And that's an old book.
It's a good one, though.
I think his last revision of it was in 1955, but it's a true classic. Everybody should read that. And then Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People is a great book to recommend. A book that's hard to find, although its simple philosophy is a good expression. You can is Zig Ziglar's "See You at the Top."
See You at the Top.
And it's dated, but his phrase is, "You can have everything you want if you will help enough other people get what they want." You're familiar with that. That goes along with Rotary's motto, "Service above self."
Oh yeah. That's what attracted me to Rotary.
Yeah, well, we live that, and we try really, really hard here to put our clients' needs first. I mean, obviously we need to make some money and stay in business, but as long as we're trying to take care of our clients, that's what, we sleep well at night.
Yes, that's true. You take care of them, they take care of you. All right, so here's the final question. If you had one friend coming to town and they were starving.
You're starving.
They're hungry. They got to eat.
And they're in town.
They're in town.
And they got to eat.
They got it. So where would you take them that best represents the Bay Area?
Well, I would take them to Kobe, Japan, which is in Pleasant Hill.
Like Kobe Bryant, the basketball player?
Well, more like Kobe, Japan, the beef. But yes.
Yeah.
And it's in Pleasant Hill, and for two reasons. One, it's obviously it's sushi and other things there. But it's one of the restaurants that we insure, so we'd take them to one anyway. But that's a very good one, and I think that's pretty representative of the Bay Area these days. If not there, just in the same shopping center, there's a great Italian family restaurant called Dallamonti's. Dallamonti's. Great family restaurant, terrific value. Either one of those would be great.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, thanks for taking the podcast interview. You shared a lot of good knowledge. I know the how to win friends and influence people. That's helped me out a lot, and the 7 habits that'll get you on the right path.
There you go.
Get you on the right path. I'm glad you're in Rotary. The LN4 is a beautiful project. Sending over the stuff to Burkina Faso, that's huge as well. Thanks for taking the interview, and I'll see you at the top.
Thank you so much.